Hi, my name is Greg Vernon from Aerospace, and today we're going to talk about migrating IT and telecommunications infrastructure as well as service providers from one office to another. Common mistake we see a lot of companies make is that they don't adequately plan for the move of technology services, even though when you do properly plan, you can typically gain a ton of performance as well as reduce costs by evaluating current technology. So we break up the move process into really 6 steps. The first is planning. The second is evaluation of IT services and providers. The third is the actual procurement of those services. The fourth is business continuity and data protection. Fifth is moving. And last is testing of all services once you have moved. In the planning process, it's important for you to assign somebody to oversee the project from your IT department. That person is going to oversee vendors from a cabling, from an IT service provider, from a telecommunications provider. All of those vendors will kind of fall under this person's umbrella to manage through the process. You need to conduct site audits of the new office as well as the current office, figure out what can be reused and what is going to be needed to cable the new office properly with what the business is going to require. Next is to do a technology review. Most likely, you have not looked at the technology services that are being provided to your company for the last 2 to 3 years. Technology changes every year. Prices change every year. This is a great time to go out and review what's available in the marketplace and at what price, and make sure that you're buying properly or buying according to what your business is going to require. We want to go and look at the new space and figure out what service providers already provide service to that area and at what speed are services available. If service providers are not there to adequately handle what your business is going to require, it's time to go out and look for other service providers that can actually build into the building. This throws a kink into the overall migration plan, and this is why it's important to plan early. If you are going to build, you need to provision services somewhere in the 150 to 180 day time frame before the move actually takes place. So that's why you need to be on top of moving of the planning process of moving IT and telecommunications equipment. Next is the actual procurement. Make sure that you have a good understanding of your current contract and any contractual liability that may exist by terminating early if you are doing so. And then in terms of the actual procurement, we already talked about the time frame if you're going to build. If you're not going to build, make sure you're planning a good 60 to 90 days out in terms of ordering other services in that may already be available in the building, just to give yourself adequate time. Next is data protection and business continuity. So this is when you're getting closer to the actual move. Make sure that you're testing your backups and restores. Make sure you can fully restore to your systems. Don't automatically assume that you're going to turn down a server, turn it back up, and all the data is going to be there and working properly. You must have a good, solid backup strategy, and the backups must be tested prior to move to ensure that you're not going to experience a significant downtime or data loss. Next is to plan for failure. What's your backup plan? Something goes awry, a server doesn't come on at all during the move. Something may have broken during the move process. What's your plan? How do you provision a new server? How quickly is that server going to be there? Things of that nature. This is also a great time to assess whether it makes sense to have your data reside on site or whether it makes more sense to move it to a cloud service provider or into a co-located environment. Lots of different reasons for that, but obviously availability is the primary. You can get a higher availability service through a cloud provider, through a co-location provider than you can typically offer to your users by hosting those services in-house. Next is the actual physical move. A lot can go wrong. Again, we recommend that you hire a moving company that has experience moving IT equipment to do that portion of the move. And then lastly is testing. So provide adequate time from when the move is completed before your users come in to test. Make sure all the phones are positioned properly, fax machines, copiers, things of that nature. Next, test all the DIDs, test all the phone numbers, test your call forwarding, all the different functionality of your phone system. Make sure that that's all working. You also need to coordinate with the internet service provider to make sure DNS is changed to the new IP addresses, and then test to make sure that that all works properly. Test your website, test incoming and outgoing email to make sure that your users have a good experience when they come in. Planning properly will ensure that your users are happy when they come in. It ensures a successful move from an IT perspective. If your users come in and services are not working, it's going to reflect poorly on the organization, and it's going to be a frustrating process for the employees of the company. So make sure you plan properly.